dealt with so many incidents of violence, of self-harm, of extreme behaviour. I've saved people's lives.
For more than 3 decades, Mick Orchard worked for the public sector, in our prisons, serving the state. He retired with ill health at the end of last year after being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Anybody who presents this has not been paid their pension.
And now he's one of thousands of people across the civil service who can't access their pension because of delays and problems with the administrator.
I've got a list of all these places I want to go to, and I just can't do it. And I do feel like it's all slipping away from me. I know that my window of opportunity is closing because I know that I'm deteriorating. I do feel quite angry about that. The fact that I've been prevented through no fault of my own. I've wasted nearly half a year now sitting around waiting for money that I'm entitled to. And this is not free money. I've worked for this for 35 years. I've worked really hard.
At Capita, we're simplifying pensions for
Capita took over the civil service contract in December and inherited a significant backlog of cases, which the government says they were aware of. In a recent briefing document from Capita to MPs and shared with Sky News, Capita say they're prioritising cases of ill health as the most urgent, stating those cases return to normalised service levels by the 6th of March. But Mick is one of those cases, and he's had none of his pension money.
To put out bland statements saying that we've addressed everything and all these urgent cases are dealt with, it's just untrue. That just makes you feel really invisible, really forgotten.
This is a story, first and foremost, about people like Mick, people that have worked for the civil service, for the state, and now want and need their pension money to live off. But according to those close to this situation, it is also a story about mismanagement.
One union says issues with Capita were being discussed at a meeting with government officials in the autumn of last year.
The people we were talking to at that meeting were saying that there was significant enough concerns for them to believe that it wouldn't go live. And I think what brings that really home to roost is that we've learnt that Capita's contract with the Royal Mail has now been terminated. So those must have been the significant concerns.
So you think there were warning signs?
We believe there absolutely were warning signs.
There's currently a backlog of around 24,000 people waiting for an outstanding pension quotation. That's the document telling someone their pension options to retire with. While around 8,000 people have faced delays in getting their money paid after getting a quote.
There are people who are ill, who've been forced or want to take early retirement, who can't get their pensions. There are other people who have already retired and find that they're not getting the money that is due to them. So they're living under very straitened circumstances when they ought to be having a comfortable retirement. And that's completely wrong and unnecessary.
In a statement, Capita told Sky News, "We've been working together with the Cabinet Office over several months to reduce the backlog and are taking all necessary steps to address this. We are sorry for the worry, distress and frustration any delays are causing." While the Cabinet Office told us the service levels following the move to Capita have been unacceptable. An urgent recovery plan is underway and our immediate priority is to stabilise the service and give current and former civil servants the service they deserve. But for Mick, all he can see is uncertainty. He now needs specialist equipment in his home to help his mobility, but that costs thousands of pounds. He gave decades of service for the state. It is now a service and a system he feels has failed him. Mollie Malone, Sky News.